Joining us now is a surging Republican presidential candidate, Tea Party favorite, the one and only, you love him, Kuhner country, Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, thank you so much for coming on the Kuhner Report.
Jeff, my friend, it's great to be back with you.
Let me start off. I have to ask you this because now, as you're really rising in the polls, as I predicted you would, you're really within the margin of error of Trump in Iowa. You're clearly now in second place. You're surging almost across the board. You're now starting to get attacked, not just as we expected from the liberal media, but now the Republican establishment are training their guns on you. Here is what Senator Lindsey Graham said, basically saying, you helped create ISIS. I want you to listen to the clip and get your reaction. Roll
Sure.
cut to Chris.
I crossed the red line, which was the fatal mistake. So Ted Cruz's foreign policy has been uneven, and he has done more to allow ISIL to gain a foothold in Syria than any senator other than Rand Paul.
Senator, I mean, I don't know if you're still awake, but it's coming from Lindsey Graham. I know Marco Rubio is now attacking you on this, so is Chris Christie. Ted Cruz is now an isolationist. Ted Cruz is now soft on terrorism. Ted Cruz, in many ways, is responsible for the rise of ISIS. What do you say?
Well, look, the fact that they're shooting at you is a real strong sign. If they're not shooting at you, you're not doing much of anything. And you're right, the Republican establishment is in a panic. And they're in a panic because conservatives are uniting behind our campaign. And so they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in false attack ads. You know, on the specific substance, why did ISIS arise? ISIS arose because Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton had pursued a policy of weakness and appeasement. They refused even to utter the words radical Islamic terrorism, much less get serious about doing anything about it. What should we do with ISIS?
Hello, Senator.
Power. Yeah.
So you literally just for 10 seconds, I don't know if it's the NSA. I mean, I don't know if it's Rubio's people. I don't know who it is, but we lost you for like 10 seconds there, Senator.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
So, you know, it may well have been the NSA. Actually, I think, as you said, the establishment's coming after me, so maybe the NSA is off my cell phone.
Senator, what would you do to stop ISIS dead in its tracks?
Well, we need to start with a commander-in-chief willing to address the enemy and call it by its name, radical Islamic terrorism. If I am elected president, we will defeat radical Islamic terrorism, and we will utterly destroy ISIS. We'll do so through overwhelming air power, carpet bombing ISIS. And we'll do so through arming the Kurds who are on the ground fighting against ISIS. They are our friends and allies, and use them as the boots on the ground. And, you know, the problem with the Republican establishment's attack, whether it is Lindsey Graham or Marco Rubio or anybody else, it is they've consistently been wrong on foreign policy. So, for example, Senator Rubio agreed with Hillary Clinton that the Obama administration should topple Gaddafi in Libya. That policy has been a disaster. The result of that policy is radical Islamic terrorists took over Libya, and it's made it much more dangerous for America. It led to Benghazi, the mistakes of the Republican establishment agreeing with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. In Syria, Senator Rubio again agrees with Hillary Clinton that we should be toppling Bashar Assad. If they succeed in toppling Assad, ISIS will take over Syria. And the result is worse from U.S. national security interests. It is not helping America to be toppling governments and handing the countries over to radical Islamic terrorists. And we need a president who is clear-eyed and focused on the national security needs of this country, and we shouldn't be helping radical Islamic terrorists, which sadly that has been the result of the misguided policies of the Republican establishment joining with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Senator, you've taken issue with Marco Rubio, Senator Rubio, for his support for the Libya intervention. for his calling for the arming of the so-called anti-Assad rebels, which we now know many of those weapons fell into the hands of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Was Rubio tragically wrong about the Arab Spring and about what took place in Libya and Syria?
Of course he was. Senator Rubio, along with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, over and over again celebrated when governments toppled. And the result of that, whether in Libya with radical Islamic terrorists taking over, or in Egypt with Mubarak being toppled at the behest of Obama and Clinton, the result of that was the Muslim Brotherhood taking over. That was bad for U.S. national security interests. The Muslim Brotherhood is a terrorist organization. In fact, I've introduced legislation to designate them as a terrorist organization because they're funding jihadists all over the world. Or in Syria, and they consistently fail to acknowledge the threat of radical Islamic terrorism and to be clear-eyed about standing up and fighting against it. And over and over again, their foreign policy judgment has proven harmful for U.S. national security interests. And we need a president who believes, like Reagan did, in peace through strength, who understands. Obama went overseas and said publicly that he doesn't believe in America leading. He doesn't believe in America winning. He doesn't have time for that. I got to say, Jeff, I think FDR and JFK and Ronald Reagan were all spinning in their graves to hear a president say he doesn't believe in America leading or winning. And my approach is very, very different. To borrow a page from Ronald Reagan in the Cold War, our strategy with regard to radical Islamic terrorism and ISIS should be very simple. We win, they lose. And as president, that is exactly the policy that I will pursue, and we will win and defeat radical Islamic terrorists before they wage jihad and murder innocent Americans here at home.
Senator, the last time we had you on, we asked about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, basically Obama trade. You said you were skeptical. What is your position now? Are you still skeptical? Are you for it, or are you against it?
I am against it. I am very, very skeptical, and that is why I'm against it. This thing is thousands of pages. It is longer than Obamacare and the Rubio-Schumer Gang of Eight amnesty bill combined. And it undermines U.S. sovereignty. It potentially weakens our immigration laws. And my view is simple. As you and I have talked about before, I support opening up foreign markets. I'm a free trader like Ronald Reagan. But as president, I'll negotiate an agreement that actually benefits American workers rather than the agreement that Barack Obama has negotiated, which undermines American workers. And I will stand with the working men and women of this country, not with the Wall Street, Washington axis of corporate power that keeps furthering welfare for giant corporations at the expense of working men and women. We need a president instead who stands with the working man and woman, whether it is against amnesty, whether it is for sovereignty, whether it is against Obama trade, and that is exactly where I am.
Senator, I think this issue could maybe actually win you the nomination and the election. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said you're going to secure the border. If you're elected president of the United States, will you do what Donald Trump has pledged to do? Would a President Cruz build a wall along the entire southern border? And would you, if you were president, appoint Donald Trump to build that wall?
Absolutely yes, on both fronts. And Jeff, as you know, I have laid out a very, very detailed immigration plan. It's on our website, tedcruz.org. It's 11 pages, single space. It is the most aggressive, serious plan to secure the borders. I drafted that plan working in close consultation with Senator Jeff Sessions and with Congressman Steve King, two of the strongest advocates and warriors for securing the border. The plan lays out we will build a wall that works. We will secure the border. We will triple the Border Patrol. We will increase fourfold the fixed-wing and rotary-wing aircraft. We'll put in place a strong biometric exit-entry system on visas. We'll put in place strong E-Verify. We know how to solve this problem, and we will end sanctuary cities. We will end welfare for people here illegally. We will end catch and release, and we will deport criminal illegal aliens. We know how to solve this problem. What is missing is the political will to get it done, and I give you my word, Jeff. As president, I will secure the border, and we will end illegal immigration.
Senator, what would you do with the illegals that are currently in this country? In other words, okay, you'll seal the border, you'll build a wall, you'll implement all these other measures to stem illegal immigration. Would you grant legalization, legal status to those that are here, and would you also favor a policy of deportation?
So I categorically oppose amnesty. Amnesty is wrong. It's unfair to millions of legal immigrations. What should we do? Legal immigrants, what should we do? We should enforce the law. It is amazing how many politicians are afraid of deportations. Do you know in 2013 the Obama administration released over 104,000 criminal illegal aliens? It released 196 murderers, illegal aliens with homicide convictions. It released roughly 400 with sexual assault convictions. It released over 16,000 with drunk driving convictions. We need to enforce the law. That means deporting criminal illegal aliens. It also means when illegal aliens are apprehended, and we need to restore the Border Patrol to doing its job, that they should be deported. Do you know how many illegal aliens Bill Clinton deported? 12 million. Do you know how many illegal aliens George W. Bush deported? 10 million. And yet you've got politicians today that think deportation is somehow wrong or scary. The Obama administration doesn't allow our Border Patrol or our Customs Enforcement to enforce the law. As president, I will enforce the law, and if we secure the border and enforce the law, we will solve this problem.
Senator, I know we're up against it, but I've got to ask you one final question.
Sure.
All of these emails that are now coming out revealing that Hillary Clinton clearly knew about the attacks in Benghazi, that they were terrorist attacks, that she was using the Clinton Foundation in many ways as a slush fund to enrich her and her family and her cronies, that she now apparently has broken multiple laws, especially violation potentially of the Espionage Act.
Yep.
Is Hillary Clinton, in your view, morally unfit to be president of the United States?
I'll leave moral judgments for God and for the American people. What I will say is the policy she has advocated, the policy she has implemented, have been a manifest disaster. Her economic policies have wreaked havoc on this country. We've got the lowest percentage of Americans working since 1977. Wages have stagnated for 20 years. Her foreign policy, if even possible, has been worse than her economic policy. Every region of the world has gotten worse. Radical Islamic terrorism and ISIS have risen as a direct result of her foreign policy failures. She supports giving $100 billion to the Ayatollah Khamenei and to Iran. That makes no sense whatsoever. And the way we win, Jeff, is we run a populist campaign of working men and women against the bipartisan corruption of Washington, and Hillary Clinton embodies that bipartisan corruption. You're right. When it comes to slush funds, it was interesting. A few weeks back, I was up in New Hampshire filing to be on the ballot, and we came outside, and the two most recent Liberty candidates in New Hampshire both endorsed me on the steps of the State House. And there were some protesters there, some left-wing protesters, who had signs saying, "Get money out of politics, don't sell the White House," and they had a picture of the White House with a dollar bill above it. And I joked, I said, "I'm glad to see the anti-Hillary protesters are here in force." and they laughed, and I said, "Listen, you're talking about someone who they literally rented out the Lincoln bedroom. She is supported by crony Wall Street and corporate welfare, and it was interesting. One of the hecklers said, "Well, who's funding your campaign?" And I laughed and said, "Well, over 500,000 contributions all over the country at tedcruz.org. And I said, "You ought to go online and become one of them. Our average contribution is $63. That's how we win, Jeff. We stand with the people against the bipartisan corruption of Washington, and no one has embodied that more than Hillary Clinton.
Senator, before I let you go, the audience, I'm just getting an overwhelming response right now through the text machine. I think about 50 questions have already been asked on this one topic. Are you game for another major political town hall with Kuhner Country in New Hampshire? Can we do something in January?
Let me give you 3 answers. Yes, yes, and absolutely yes.
Senator, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. If I don't speak to you before Christmas, have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and we'll set up that town hall, and we'll see you in January.
You have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, and we will see you in January, and we'll do the town hall, and we're going to break the attendance records we set at the last one, because Kuhner Country, God bless Kuhner Country. You guys are standing up and fighting for our country and fighting for freedom every day.
God bless you, Senator. Best of luck out there. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.